Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. The Bobby Darin mystery is finally solved, and it's not good news. Bobby Darin was born with the name Walden Robert Casado on May 14, 1936 in the Bronx, New York City. When he was little, Darin was really good at music. He learned to play piano and guitar as a kid, which helped him become successful later. Darin's music career was amazing because he could sing many different types of songs. He started with rock and roll and pop songs, but then he also sang jazz, folk, country, and even big band swing music. This made lots of different people like his music, making him special in the music world back then. His big break came in 1958 when he made the hit song Splish Splash. It was a fun, catchy rock and roll song that became really popular quickly and showed everyone he was a cool new singer in American pop music. After this early success, Darin's career took off with many great hits that people still remember today, like Dream Lover, Mack the Knife, and Beyond the Sea. Mack the Knife was extra special because it showed how Darin could make his performances exciting and dramatic. He even won a Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1960 for this song. His version of the song was a brave new take on an old tune from the Three-Penny Opera. He mixed jazz and pop in a way that amazed both regular people and music critics. This success made Darin famous all over the world and made him one of the greatest American performers ever. Bobby Darin's 1960 recording of Artificial Flowers is a great example of how he could mix different things in music to make something amazing and memorable. The song was originally written by famous Broadway composers Sheldon Harnick and Jerry Bach for their musical Tenderloin. This show talked about dark and serious problems, including how child workers were treated badly in 1800s New York City. The words of Artificial Flowers tell the sad story of a child worker who died too young, making people feel very sorry and sad. But instead of making the song sound sad and gloomy like you might expect with such a story, Darin chose to present the song with a jazzy big band arrangement made by arranger Richard Ware. This musical background was lively, bright, and full of energy with loud horns, swinging rhythms and fast tempos that big band jazz is known for. This smart contrast between the tragic and heartbreaking words and the upbeat jazzy music made the song hit people's emotions even harder. It made listeners think about the story in many different ways. It showed Darin's creative way of singing songs, his willingness to try new things, and his amazing ability to bring theater and storytelling into popular music. This recording not only showed Darin's musical variety, but also showed how good he was at telling stories through songs. This hinted at the different directions his career would go in the coming year. Moving forward to 1962, Bobby Darin made a big change in his musical style by writing and performing country music. This new type of music let him explore themes of love, heartbreak, and everyday life with a fresh and real voice. This change was marked by several successful singles that people in America and other countries really loved. One of his best country hits was Things, which went to number 3 on the U.S. charts and number 2 in the U.K., making it one of his biggest international successes. The song's heartfelt words and catchy tune captured the mixed emotions of love and loss. Darin's smooth singing added warmth and honesty that appealed to many different types of listeners. Along with Things, Darin released You're the Reason I'm Living, another big hit that climbed to number 3 on the U.S. charts. This song made his place in country music even stronger by showing his ability to express deep emotion and romantic longing with skill and passion. Another great track from this time was 18 Yellow Roses, which reached number 10 in the U.S. chart. The song was a touching ballad filled with young innocence and charm. It showed Darin's skill in mixing country storytelling traditions with pop appeal. During this busy time, Darin worked with Capitol Records, a major label he joined in 1962 after leaving his previous contract with Atlantic Records. His time at Capitol was marked by focusing on country and pop crossover hits. The label encouraged him to explore different musical styles. However, after a few years in 1965, Darin went back to Atlantic Records, starting another chapter in his changing career. He actually left Capitol Records in 1964, showing the end of this particular creative period under that label. Darin's willingness to switch labels showed his desire for artistic freedom and his search for the right place to express his many different talents. One of Darin's later chart successes was his 1966 cover of Tim Harden's If I Were a Carpenter, which became his final UK hit, reaching number 9 and also peaked at number 8 on the US charts. This song showed yet another side of Darin's musical flexibility. Written by folk singer-songwriter Tim Harden, the song was originally a gentle folk ballad. Darin's version added a more polished pop-oriented production that made it appeal to more people. This helped it reach a wider audience, while still respecting the emotional depth of the original. This track was an important milestone in Darin's career, showing his continuous growth and ability to reinterpret modern songs in his own special style. Besides his work on the charts, Darin also contributed to movie soundtracks, making his artistic output even more diverse. In 1965, he performed both the opening and closing songs for the Walt Disney film That Darn Cat. This work with a major film project showed Darin's growing presence in entertainment beyond just recording studios and concert halls. His performances in this family-friendly comedy film showed his charm and broad appeal to audiences of all ages. The influence of Darin's songs went beyond his own recordings. For example, the song Things was famously covered by Dean Martin and performed on the 1967 television special Moving with Nancy, which starred Nancy Sinatra. This cover by another famous artist of that time showed the lasting popularity and cross-generational appeal of Darin's music. It also showed how his songs could be adapted by other performers, further embedding his work into the cultural fabric of the 1960s. Beyond his musical achievements, Bobby Darin was also a skilled actor. Starring in films such as Come September in 1961, alongside Rock Hudson and Gina Lollobrigida, and Pressure Point in 1962, which earned him a Golden Globe nomination. His charismatic screen presence and natural talent for acting complemented his musical persona, revealing yet another dimension of his artistic abilities. Darin's move into acting showed his desire not to be limited by a single category of entertainment and his willingness to challenge himself creatively. Throughout his career, Darin was known for his never-ending work ethic. He had ambition to constantly grow as an artist. Despite facing serious health challenges, he was diagnosed with a serious heart condition as a child and had open-heart surgery in the late 1970s. He remained dedicated to performing and creating music that deeply resonated with his audience. His personal struggles with health added a touching layer to his public image, making his achievements all the more remarkable given the hardships he faced. Bobby Darin's first marriage was to the well-known actress Sandra Dee, a union that began on December 1st, 1960. Their meeting took place in the romantic and historic city of Rome, Italy, during the filming of the movie Come September, which was eventually released in 1961. This was an important time in both their lives as they were young rising stars in Hollywood. The film itself provided a backdrop for the start of their relationship. Interestingly, it wasn't purely fate that brought them together. It was Sandra Dee's mother, Mary Duvall, who played a key role in encouraging the actress to give Bobby Darin a chance. Mary saw something in Darin, or perhaps simply wanted to help her daughter step outside her comfort zone, and she convinced Sandra to go on a date with him. Despite this push from her mother, Dee's early impressions of Darin were complicated and mixed. In later interviews, Sandra Dee openly thought back on the nature of their relationship and on Darin's personality. She described him as someone who loved her deeply, but who also had a calculating streak. According to Dee, Darin did not enter the situation in Rome with a clear plan to marry her, the so-called new little Marilyn Monroe of Hollywood. But his personality left a strong impression. Dee characterized Darin as rude, brash, and always trying to get a reaction from people around him. She admitted to not liking him much at the start, even calling him a conniving person. These honest words reveal a complicated dynamic where attraction and irritation existed together. Despite these tensions, their relationship moved forward. On December 16, 1961, the couple welcomed their son, Mitchell Darin. This new addition to their lives marked a milestone that seemed to cement their partnership. Throughout the early 1960s, Bobby Darin and Sandra Dee were seen as Hollywood's golden couple. They were a glamorous pair that captured the public's imagination and media attention. They represented the ideal of youthful success and charm, making red carpet appearances and engaging in projects that often linked their personal and professional lives. However, beneath this polished image, their marriage was filled with difficulties. The couple faced ongoing troubles that strained their relationship over the years. The pressures of fame, conflicting personalities, and perhaps the complexities of growing up in the public eye took a toll. After years of ups and downs, their marriage officially ended in divorce on March 7, 1967. This breakup marked the close of an important chapter in Darin's personal life, one that had shaped much of his public persona during that era. Following the end of his marriage to Sandra Dee, Bobby Darin found love again with Andrea Yeager, who was not from the entertainment world, but worked as a legal secretary. The two met in 1970 during a period when Darin's career and health were going through changes. Their relationship developed more quietly and privately compared to his first high-profile marriage. After dating and living together for about 3 years, they decided to marry on June 25, 1973. This marriage was relatively brief and took place during a challenging time for Darin. Just 4 months after their wedding in October of the same year, they divorced. The reasons behind this quick separation were rooted largely in the strain caused by Darin's worsening health issues. As Darin battled serious medical problems, most notably related to his heart, these difficulties placed enormous stress on their relationship. The intensity of caring for a partner facing serious illness combined with personal and emotional challenges contributed to the breakdown of their marriage. Although this second marriage was short-lived, it reflected a period in Darin's life marked by vulnerability and transition, contrasting with the youthful energy of his earlier years. Bobby Darin, an iconic figure in the mid-20th century American music scene, has long been surrounded by an aura of mystery that extends beyond his undeniable talents as a singer, songwriter, and actor. For decades, fans and historians alike have wondered about the mysteries surrounding his life, particularly the circumstances leading to his untimely death at the young age of 37. Previously unknown details have come to light that finally shed a harsh and sobering light on the truth behind these mysteries. And unfortunately, the revelations are far from uplifting. Bobby Darin's life was marked by tremendous artistic success and vibrant energy, but it was also clouded by health, struggles, and personal turmoil. Born Walden Robert Casado in 1936, Darin's meteoric rise from humble beginnings to stardom seemed almost destined.
His ability to cross genres from rock and roll to jazz
to folk showcased a rare versatility that few of his contemporaries could match. However, behind this dazzling public persona was a man battling lifelong health issues related to a congenital heart defect. For years, Darin pushed himself relentlessly, touring, recording, and acting, seemingly determined to live life at full throttle despite his physical limitations. The mystery surrounding his death has long puzzled those close to him and fans alike. Initially, Darin's death in 1973 was attributed to heart failure, a tragic but somewhat expected outcome given his medical history. Yet, whispers persisted about whether his death might have been hastened by other factors, including lifestyle choices, emotional stress, or even medical neglect. These speculations remained largely unconfirmed until recent investigations unveiled previously sealed medical records and testimonies from those who were part of his final days. The truth is unsettling. Darin's heart condition was made worse by a combination of neglect and risky behavior, including a refusal to follow medical advice strictly, made worse by the pressures of maintaining a public image. More troubling still are the revelations about the management of Darin's health and career by those around him. Behind the scenes, those responsible for his care and career were often more focused on profit and public perception than on his well-being. The intense demands of the entertainment industry in the 1960s and early 1970s meant that Darin was pushed to perform even when physically fragile. Reports suggest that some doctors were pressured to clear him for shows and recording sessions despite clear signs of distress. Furthermore, the emotional toll of navigating fame, a complicated personal life, and chronic illness led Darin into bouts of depression and isolation, further weakening his resilience. Perhaps the most touching aspect of this mystery is the personal cost to Darin himself. A fiercely private individual, he hid much of his suffering behind an infectious smile and charismatic performances. His family and close friends were often kept at arm's length from the reality of his declining health, and his public image was carefully managed to preserve the myth of an indefatigable star. This dual existence between the man the world adored and the man struggling in private added a tragic dimension to his story. Ultimately, the mystery was not just about how he died, but about how a young man with so much talent and promise was allowed to endure so much pain and neglect. The final solving of the Bobby Darin mystery forces us to reconsider the true cost of fame and the responsibilities owed to those who live in its glare. It is a sobering reminder that behind the glamour and success often lies vulnerability that is too easily ignored or dismissed. The story of Bobby Darin serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of pushing individuals beyond their limits and the critical importance of genuine care and compassion, both from medical professionals and from those closest to the star. The truth may not be good, but it finally allows us to see the full human story of Bobby Darin, not just the legend.